Oh, what's up?
Nothing, I think I was
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your spot was taken, but I might be able to swap someone around to get you in. Let me check.
Okay, no problem. I will just be watching as soon.
Yeah, I think I can make this work. Hold on. Haruto or Necros, is either of you willing to drop and go tank in C or D? Okay, yeah, Necros, if you can drop and join D as a tank. Then I will swap to tanking. Because I am an Omni, and I'm cool with whatever.
Also, just when I arrived, you were talking about different kinds of runs or something like that.
Yeah, I generally, like, as we go forward, I'll, increase the prog level, just to, like, stop taking newbies when we're trying to go for a clear, so that way we're not having to teach the early stuff again and again. Also, your spot is, there's now a spot opened up in Party F for a DPS, so you're free to join that.
Different kinds of games.
The password... Yeah, the password is generally, like, as we go forward, I'll, increase the prog... Yep. Alright,
Are we trying to go for a clear, or is it just a progress?
It is just prog. It's gonna take anywhere from, like, it takes people 2 to 5 runs or so to be able to clear. Just the third boss, like, requires practice to be able to get through it. And so that's always kind of the stopper.
The hot and cold one is my pain.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the third one, exactly.
Is there a possible chance that we might clear it?
There is always a chance. I would say, like, 1% or lower. So the nature of this, I could have everyone bring the biggest dick DPS actions possible, expensive stuff, like, or, I could structure runs with, like, half vets, half newbies, and hard carry people to a clear. But, like, that boss is such, like, personal responsibility that if you're just dead on the floor the whole time and not even getting a chance to learn it, it just feels bad. So, like, I would rather, take it a bit slower, let everybody learn everything and really get some confidence. So it's not just like, I cleared, but I don't want to come back because I was too bad kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Alright.
The general rule of thumb for, like, a clear of any kind of ultimate content, I know this isn't ultimate content, this is kind of the same level, a similar level. The general rule of thumb is if you have more than half of the players that are very, very familiar with the run, there is a chance to clear first time, boom, and be done with it. However, this group, as our leader has said, is fairly a newer group, so it's not likely that we will clear it tonight.
I think in this party, this whole 48 people, we have like maybe five or six people who have cleared. Everybody else is a progger. None of them have gotten through the third boss or is brand new fresh. Like, we have like close to 3 dozen people just fresh. Anyway, let me get my stream up and running so I can showboat a bit, and then I will get started on kind of explaining the early stuff, explaining holsters, all that jazz. That honestly was not all that painful to get everybody together. Yeah, this is a pretty good gateway drug as far as I'm concerned to like harder content. Anyone who's done BA is used to the kind of the 48-person thing, where you have responsibility, but it's not like Savage, where one person dies and everybody wipes. But this is like harder than Alliance Raids. It's honestly harder than Extreme Trials. It's harder than BA by a long shot, but not so like unforgivingly so that if you're more casual of a player, you feel lost and like I should never come back. So, like, we've had people do BA, then do this, and then go on to do, like, Savage and Extreme Trials, because now they have that confidence built up.
It's more of a mid-core experience, which this game sorely lacks.
Yeah, not only is it mid-core, but it's super cooperative and has a great community to it. So, like, even if you're less than mid-core as a player, which is nothing to be ashamed of, you can still have fun and clear it and get better. Yeah, 48-person stuff is just far and away my favorite thing in this game, because I like telling people what to do, and this just gives me the highest number of people to tell what to do at the same time.
Nice.
Why stick with an 8-person raid? Alright, so, stream is posted. Let me get the link going. Alright. Ladies, gentlemen, and citizens of Bartertown, welcome to the first of this Thursday night slot. This is going to be the new time slot going forward, as I discussed a bit previously. That means next week we're going to have a run at the exact same time, the week after run at the exact same time, etc., etc. You will have to sign up each time. Just making it on this run does not guarantee you a spot on the next one. But, you know, if you keep an eye out, you can generally keep up with the Prog level and get a clear here in probably about a month or so, depending on how things go. I am Fireal. I am the host of all of this. Azalea is kind of my co-host. He does slimes for me. Yeah, we'll be happy to have you, answer questions, etc., etc. So, first and foremost, I gotta talk holster stuff. So, the very first thing we encounter here is gonna be slimes and golems, or barracks as it's sometimes called. It is a puzzle fight. So I don't care if you cleared Savage and have the DPS checked, whatever. It's not about damage, it's about a puzzle, killing things in the right order, pulling stuff at certain times, etc. There's nothing quite like it in the game. As such, we're going to die to it a lot. Generally, it takes anywhere from 2 to 5 runs of Slime's Golems to get through to the first boss. So we're not going to worry about gearing up our holsters with that Lost Action loadout holster that you looked up. We're going to do something a little different, just to make sure we're not wasting expensive stuff while we're learning this first stuff. So, what your holster should look like, basically, you should have some kind of offensive essence equipped. So, that can be anything from Skirmisher, I've seen people take, like, Bloodsucker and Martialist, that kind of thing. Just something to help with the DPS check of Slime's Golems, so you'll equip that when you start. Do not equip a Re-Raiser at the start, don't use one. Because if we fail Slime's Golems, we want to die. So there's no need to have a Re-Raiser, it would just slow down dying and waste your supply of them. So some kind of offensive essence, and then in your bag you want some kind of defensive essence. That can be Plate Bearer, it can be Veteran, it can be like, Bloodsucker again works. A defensive essence just to make sure when we're fighting Trinity Seeker, the first boss, we can have a practice pull without dying. If you don't have something defensive, you will probably die to the raid wides. So just something, don't worry about damage for the defensive, just something to be able to live through those raid wides and practice the first boss, as well as Re-Raisers in your bag to use so if you die, you can pop another one and get more practice. Healers, it's a bit different. Healers, you want to have a pure essence in your bag. You don't have to equip it from the start, but have one in your bag if you can afford to, as well as have Arises in your bag in addition to your Re-Raisers. That's because one of the only ways to res people in all of DRS is a healer with a pure equipped using Arise on a dead person. It's only a 10 to 20% chance. You only get 5 charges per Arise. It can get painful. But that makes it to where if we clear Slime's Golems and people are dead on the floor, we can pick them up for that practice pull of Trinity Seeker. Additionally, in the middle of Trinity Seeker, you can pick people up for more practice, pick up healers if they're dead in other parties, etc., etc. So again, when we go in, you'll equip something offensive, Skirmisher, Bloodsucker, Martialist, Aether Weaver, that kind of thing. You'll have something defensive in the bag, a defensive essence, Veteran, Plate Bearer, or if you're a healer, you'll have a Pure in the bag, and then you'll have Re-Raises in the bag and Arises if you're a healer. Don't worry about the damaging actions, so anything from like Cure Forward, a Dervish, a Banner Rounded Sacrifice, Font of Power, Chain Spell. Don't worry about any of that just yet, because first time we get to the first boss, we are just practicing. I don't want to see anyone wasting expensive actions unless they very much just want the practice with them. So we can sit back and chill for a bit. once we do that practice pull of the first boss, usually like an hour from now or so, we're going to take a 10 to 15 minute break, and after that, I will explain new holster stuff. So I will explain what the full run holster looks like after that break, so don't even worry about that yet. Let's see how we're doing, though. It's a little slower, the reason I structure it like this. Again, if we got to the first boss and had all the damage stuff, we could probably clear it. But I like taking it a bit slower, and make sure people can really get a couple attempts at that first boss, which is very much a wall. It is very difficult as a first boss. And make sure people aren't wasting actions and stuff. If you go straight from Slimes, Golems into Trinity Seeker and try to clear it first time, you'll waste a lot of re-raisers and arises that then you don't have for the rest of the run. So it's like, might as well restart a bit, take it a bit slower, and we don't waste pure essences quite as much that way. Alright, looks like we're waiting on Arega and Izanagi.
Just to double check, is it fine with me being 81 as Dark Knight, or should I really just go as my Gunbreaker?
Yeah,
Yep, you're fine.
anything 80 or above is perfectly acceptable. Stats are set inside Save the Queen areas, so you could be walking in with glam gear. It's irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that you have something in that slot, period.
Yep. It is 100% more about comfort than anything else.
Yep, absolutely. The less you have to stare at your bars, the more you can do mechanics.
I really can't stress enough that the difficulty of this, it's not like hardcore Savage, but imagine 4 extreme trial or light Savage fights stapled back to back with very little break in between, no ability to go back to the beginning to refresh actions. This isn't like normal mode where you can just return to the start. We are stuck once we drop down. And then like not only like the res restrictions, all that, there's a lot to it. It's a marathon and not a sprint. So while you are inside, this is where you can talk to your party directly. Also, I see someone handing out Bravery. Bravery will not be needed for the full run, because Cure 4 in everybody's party is a stronger Bravery. But for here, where we're just like, burn in actions just for like vague offensive stuff and not really going for a full run, there's no, like, it's fine. Yeah, for those not in the know, Pure Essences all have a secret, like, interaction with them. The secret interaction with Pure Essence of the Elder, the caster one, is that Cure 4 applies a party-wide Bravery that lasts for a minute and is stronger than the Bravery action. That's why you see there's a Cure 4 assigned for each party. Again, don't worry about that to the full run, just like you don't have to coordinate out, like, Steel Sting and Spellforge just yet. But on the full run, that's why we have a Cure 4 per party, because, it greatly increases everybody's damage, and extra damage is great. I think we had a DC starting up here.
I'm still here. Don't worry about me. I'll load in eventually.
All good. So when we get going down to the cache, remember, you'll want to have some kind of offensive essence applied. Anything, Skirmisher. I don't think Bloodsucker is offensive. I just always used it as a tank because, health is great. But Skirmisher, Aether Weaver, Martialist, stuff like that. That just makes it to where the DPS checks of Slimes, Golems, especially Slimes, is a little more doable fresh. And then in your bag, everybody should have re-raisers, everyone should have a defensive essence or a pure, up to you. Healers, if you can afford to take a pure, please do so. And then healers also want some arises to go along with. Haruto, why does it take you forever to load in?
It only does this occasionally, and sometimes it just tells me to, kinda go fuck myself. Oh, there it goes, it crashed.
Oh, fun.
That'll
Well, I
do
think
it.
everybody else is gonna be
We're stuck in
released
this
from our
bubble.
prison.
Let me out.
But yeah, hopefully that was clear enough for people, the general stuff to take. We are going to split up voice calls here at the start. So parties A, B, and C, that is Slime side, can stay here in this voice call. Parties D, E, and F, that is Golem side, will drop down a voice call to East. I'll be helping y'all down there, while Azalea helps the rest up here.
I will drop in a moment. I am typing my 1-time passcode.